the difference between arc measure and arc length. So remember, on a circle, the arc measure is going to be exactly the same as the central angle, right? So here, arc measure essentially is your central angle, whereas your arc length, now we want to know what is the length of the part of the circumference, right? And so since we're talking about the length of part of a circumference, we're gonna take part of that circumference, right? We don't want the whole thing, we want part of it, right? So we set up a ratio, and that ratio is, we're gonna take the central angle, we'll call M, over 360, that's the proportion that we want, and we're going to multiply that times the entire circumference, which we'll leave it at C. The reason we're going to leave it at C is because if we have, well, one thing we can remember is if we have the diameter, or we can have the radius, right? But either way, we can always use that. So let's take a look at this problem down here. So it says if EB, so EB, notice how that is the radius, is 15. They want us to find the length, the arc length of CD. Okay, well, first of all, CD goes from here to here. And since the radius is 15, it's not going to change anywhere, right? So 15, that means over here on this side, it's also 15, which is telling me that my diameter is going to be 30. So let's leave it like that. So my diameter is 30. I said find the arc length of CD, which is telling me that I first got to figure out what is that central angle for the arc CD. Well, I find that by noticing that from B all the way to D, we have a semicircle, or we have 180 degrees. And so since I know the arc measure, or the central angle, of BC to B68, I simply subtract 180 minus 68 to give me the measurement of arc CD, which is 112 degrees. And so now that I have my central angle measurement, I simply substitute it into my arc length formula, which is going to be 112 over 360 times 30 pi. And so that's what I'm going to put in my calculator. So when I put it in the calculator and simplify, I get 28 over 3 pi, and we need units here, centimeters.